In my property management frequently asked questions video, I briefly touched on our screening process. So today I'm going to go more in depth. Now, undoubtedly, if you are screening your own applicants or if you've hired a company to screen them on your behalf, then they're going to run a credit check. While this is a great start and probably the most common thing you think of when running a background check, it's definitely not enough. That's just not enough information to move forward with someone that's going to be living in your home. So keep in mind that the screening process is probably the single most important aspect when renting out your home. This is what determines who's going to be living and hopefully caring for your home for the foreseeable future. So you definitely want to get as much information as possible. For that reason, we have created the perfect tenant screening process. What this is 10 different factors we utilize to determine whether or not they're going to be a good fit for your home. So we will build a big picture, summarize it, and provide you our professional recommendation on whether or not you should move forward. And as the landlord, the final decision rests with you. So some other factors we take into account. We've already touched on the credit check. There's also criminal history, which is pretty self-explanatory. But one of my favorite ones is actually interviewing previous landlords. This gives you a great insight into the tenant's previous rental history and is usually indicative of what kind of tenant they will be in the future. So some of the questions that we like to ask: was the rent paid on time? Obviously, that's a very important one. If they're late every month but then end up paying it, that just adds unneeded hassle that can cause you to miss your mortgage payment. So that's a good factor to find out. Also, you can ask them when it came time to move, did they give proper notice? Did they just swing by one day and say, hey, we're moving out, and off they went? You want to make sure that you have the proper notice when it comes time to re-rent the property in the future. Once they were out, was the home returned in good condition? Did we find out after we got in there that there was a pet living there that we didn't know about, that has destroyed the home and you don't have enough security deposit to cover for it? So these are all things you want to ask that previous landlord, and then just in general ask them what kind of experience they had. See if they can give you some insight into who these people are, and that'll help you base your decision on whether or not to move forward. Additionally, we verify their employment and income. Quite simply put, we need to know if they can afford the rent. So what we do is we take a look at their debt to income ratio. This involves taking a look at all of their revolving debt, including what the rent will be, in order to make sure that they don't exceed a certain percentage of their income. And this is how we determine whether they can afford the rent. If you'd like to hear about the remaining factors and get a full list of the qualification points, go ahead and click on that blue Get a Free Quote button on the website, and I'll give you a call today.